Professor Krelnock surveyed his tactical engineering class with all three of his optical sensors. The assignment was simple: design and construct a functional trap using only the materials provided in the workshop. It was a standard exercise at the Galactic Military Academy, designed to test creative problem-solving under resource constraints. The workshop was stocked with advanced materials: photonic nets, gravity manipulation devices, molecular adhesives, programmable nanowire, and quantum entanglement sensors. Everything a proper military engineer would need. 23 students from 17 different species set to work immediately. The Kvathian began assembling an electromagnetic cage. The Zephyrlite constructed an elegant energy web. The Dorvanian started programming a sophisticated motion detection system with automated response protocols. And then there was Tyler Johnson, the human. Professor Krelnock watched with growing concern as Tyler completely ignored the advanced equipment. Instead, the human walked over to the corner of the workshop and picked up a waste disposal unit, what humans called a trash can. Cadet Johnson, Krelnock's translator crackled, "Perhaps you didn't understand the assignment. You're supposed to build a trap, not, whatever you're doing with that refuse container." Tyler looked up with a grin that the professor had learned meant trouble. "Oh, I understood perfectly, sir. I'm building a trap. With a trash can?" "Yes, sir." The entire class had stopped to watch. This was either going to be brilliant or embarrassing, and either way, it would be entertaining. Tyler rummaged through various bins until he found what he was looking for: a simple wooden stick, approximately 1 meter long, and a piece of synthetic rope. He spent exactly 7 minutes on his construction. When he was done, Tyler had propped the trash can upside down at an angle, balanced on the stick, with the rope tied to the stick and stretched across the floor as a trigger line. The class stared in silence. "That's it?" Krelnock asked, his vocal synthesizer unable to hide his disappointment. "That's your trap?" "Yes, sir. It's primitive. It's effective, sir." A Quilvorian student named Zexthar let out a series of clicks that translated to laughter. "Cadet Johnson, that design is literally thousands of years old. There are cave paintings on Earth showing similar concepts. It's the most basic trap imaginable." Tyler shrugged. "Sometimes the old ways are the best ways." "But it has no sensors," protested Mira, a Centaurian engineer. "No automated responses. No energy field. How does it even know when to activate?" "Gravity," Tyler said simply. "And physics. Target steps on the trigger rope, pulls the stick, trash can falls. Simple." Professor Krelnock decided to move on. "Very well. Let's test everyone's designs. We'll use the standard test dummy, a Class 4 combat drone program to avoid capture." One by one, the elaborate traps were tested. The Kvathian's electromagnetic cage worked beautifully but required a massive power source and 3 minutes to charge. The Zephyrlite's energy web was elegant but costly and detectable by most military-grade sensors. The Dorvanian's motion detection system was sophisticated but could be fooled by slow movement or camouflage. Each trap caught the drone eventually, but each had significant drawbacks in terms of cost, complexity, or effectiveness. Then came Tyler's turn. The combat drone was released into the testing area. It scanned for threats, detected no energy signatures, no electronic devices, no quantum disturbances. Just a simple metal container and some primitive materials. The drone moved forward cautiously. Its sensors completely dismissed the trash can setup as non-threatening, clearly just debris left in the testing area. The drone's manipulator arm crossed the trigger rope. The stick fell. The trash can dropped. Clang. The drone was trapped under the trash can, its sensors blaring alerts, its manipulators unable to find purchase on the smooth interior surface. The class erupted in shocked chirps, clicks, and gasps. But that shouldn't work." Zexthar protested. "The drone's AI should have recognized the threat pattern. Tyler walked over and tapped the trash can, producing a hollow metallic sound. The AI was programmed to recognize advanced threats. Military-grade detection systems. Energy signatures. It completely ignored my trap because it was looking for something complicated. Sometimes the best way to beat advanced technology is with something so simple it doesn't even register as a threat. Professor Krelnox's optical sensors focused intently on the human. Explain your reasoning, cadet. Tyler sat on a nearby workbench. Back on Earth, humans have been trapping things for hundreds of thousands of years. We didn't have fancy tech, so we learned to use what was available. Rocks, sticks, holes in the ground, containers. We trapped everything from mice to mammoths using basic principles: gravity, leverage, camouflage, and understanding behavior. He pointed to the still struggling drone under the trash can. That drone was programmed by military engineers who think in terms of advanced warfare. They forgot that the simplest solution is often the most effective. Plus, my trap has other advantages. Such as? Mira asked, genuinely curious now. It's completely passive, no power source to run out or be detected. It's made from materials that are literally everywhere. You can find a container and stick on almost any planet. It costs almost nothing. It can be built in minutes with zero training. And most importantly, it doesn't look like a trap to anyone or anything scanning for threats. Tyler stood up and released the drone, which immediately flew upward in embarrassment and relief. Every one of your traps was impressive, Tyler continued, addressing the class. But they all had the same weakness: they looked like traps. They required power, rare materials, or complex programming. In a real combat situation, what happens when your power cell dies? Or you don't have access to molecular adhesive? Or the enemy's AI is smart enough to recognize your elaborate setup? He picked up the trash can. But this? This is universal. Humans learned a long time ago that you don't need the fanciest solution, you need the most reliable one. Professor Krelnox was silent for a long moment. Then his translator spoke with what might have been respect. Cadet Johnson, your trap was the fastest to deploy, the cheapest to construct, the most difficult to detect, and required no power source or maintenance. By every practical military standard, yours was the most effective trap in this exercise. Thank you, sir. However, the professor continued, it's also made from a trash can and a stick. The Galactic Military Academy has standards to maintain. I cannot give top marks to a trash can. Tyler grinned. Respectfully, sir, you asked us to build a trap. You didn't specify it had to look pretty. The class erupted in what passed for laughter among multiple alien species. Professor Krelnox's optical sensors dimmed in what might have been amusement. I'm updating the exercise parameters for future classes. From now on, there will be a minimum technological complexity requirement. Otherwise, I suspect every human cadet will show up with garbage and string. Sir, if I may, Tyler said, that's kind of the point. Humans learned that survival isn't about having the best tools, it's about using whatever you have. We've colonized hostile planets with duct tape and stubbornness. We've won battles with improvised weapons. We turned rocks into computers, and we'll turn a trash can into a tactical advantage if that's what's available. Zexstar spoke up, his tone no longer mocking. Is this why humans are so difficult to fight? You don't follow the expected patterns? Pretty much, Tyler admitted. We spent millions of years fighting everything on our planet just to survive. We learned to be creative, adaptable, and unpredictable. Give a human any random objects and enough motivation, and they'll figure out a way to use them. Professor Krelnox made a notation on his data pad. Cadet Johnson, full marks. And a note in your file, dangerously creative. Do not underestimate. Class dismissed. As the students filed out, Mira approached Tyler. I have to ask, have humans really trapped large creatures with simple methods like this? Tyler nodded. We've caught everything from insects to elephants with variations of this design. My grandfather once caught a bear with a barrel, some bait, and patience. Your species is terrifying. Nah, Tyler said, picking up his trash can. We're just practical. Besides, you should see what we can do with duct tape. Mira decided she didn't want to know. As Tyler walked away, Professor Krellnox added one more note to his file: recommend observation of human MacGyver historical documentation. Threat assessment may need updating.